So without much further ado, I would like to invite on stage our keynote speaker for the day, Ms. Rituparna Chakraborty, co-founder and executive director at Team Lease Services Limited and CEO Team Lease Degree Apprenticeship. Rituparna is an accomplished business leader. She has business experience of more than 23 years. And as a co-founder of Team Lease, she has been instrumental in making Team Lease one of India's largest people supply chain company. She is included in Global Power 100 and International 50 Women Staffing and is winner of Telstra Business Women Asia Award. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Rituparna.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Access team, the DNB team, to invite me. I don't know why I'm here, by the way. I don't know why I deserve to give this kind of a keynote speech, but I'll do my best. And I'd like to also warn you that my throat's not giving me the best of days today, so if I'm suddenly starting a bout of coughing, just bear with me. So again, thanks so much for having me. And what can I say? I think just to share with you all today is exactly 20 years of my association with Team Lease. So I've spent 2 decades in this organization, and it's extremely, it's a moment which is very hard to express, you know. I didn't even know that these days it was allowed to stay in a company for 20 years. So given the drift that currently exists. So yes, I joined and was part of the founding team of this organization for Team Lease, called Team Lease. And I think why we wanted to be in this space, because in our earlier avatar, we had another organization called India Life. And in that organization, we were actually payroll processing, benefits administration, PF, trust management kind of a organization. And of course, after running it, one of the important lessons that we have learned in life is to distinguish between, and I'm sure many of you are already realizing it, is an early judgment of differentiating between a business idea, which is either a dwarf or a baby. So I think with our earlier venture of India Life, we realized that it was kind of a dwarf, and we managed to exit that business, and we sold it off to Hewitt, which in turn got sold off to a couple of more organizations. So it still is one of the large multinationals in the MNC payroll processing space. But around that time, that was around the late 90s, to form a play that India did have a lot of mom and pop shops, the erstwhile KLRs, which you might have heard about, but that's not how they liked doing business. They wanted something which was pan-India, which was absolutely legitimate, which was extremely process-driven, and some of our customers in India Life were some of these multinationals, and they said, listen, you guys are taking care of our payroll and compensation and so on and so forth. Why don't you guys start managing our human beings, our human resource? So that's how we realized that India had a pent-up demand, right? A large pent-up demand for having flexible, contingent workforce across the country, but they needed somebody who understood very innately, deeply the law of the land and could help them navigate through the waters in India, which is kind of complex, as some of you might know, because you guys are all running businesses. And Chennai and Hyderabad. Not Chennai, sorry, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, and Bombay. And of course, so I kind of joined in early. I was, after leaving India Life, I was one of the first recruits in India Life as well. When I took a break, I went to join the internet or the dot-com boom those days. I was also one of the first recruits with Monster in India. And then this whole new idea came along, and I just could not resist right away to not join the design pattern. So I left a multinational job, a very significantly large pay packet activities. for a journey it has been. We got listed in 2016, the first business services company to get listed. We were 69 times oversubscribed. It's quite a feeling, right? Suddenly on the second year for listing to have 16,000 crores in bank account. Of course, we gave it back, but it's a lot of money and a lot of trust, most of all. To imagine that in a world that we live in where people who are your up-down.
Talking about this awareness of schemes by government and also banks and things like that. As an MSME, this awareness promotion to MSMEs has not taken up momentum.
Yeah.
So many a times we come to a problem, then we go after somebody for a suggestion and advice. So this is one thing I hope many of the MSMEs are facing. Whatever the schemes we have,
Yeah.
when the time of crisis and things like that, it is not given to MSMEs in advance. What is the schemes we have in the government and also banks, financial institutions and things like that. This is what my view.
You are
How
absolutely
to
right.
address that? Which is the forum which can give us the information on this?
Right. You are absolutely right, and I alluded to that. That I do understand that some of your challenges that you probably are not even aware collectively as a group or individuals about what are those different benefits. Like rightly said, that's the reason organizations like Access and us come and become part of this. This session essentially is to connect you to some of the organizations who probably can help you with some of those solutions or can tell you what's happening in the entire ecosystem. Is that the scalable solution for a country of our size? I don't believe so. I think how much can an Access cover? How much can, let's say, TeamLease go and cover? Standalone is the entire universe. But then these are one of your opportunities to probably get to know about what's happening. And secondly, I think from what I know that you do have a strong industry association. Like CII has one, I'm assuming you will have one. I think one of the agendas that you need to push to your secretariats in any of these associations is that leave everything aside, but help us create connects in project management, customer retention, fintech inclusions, helping us with our labor loss problems or skill issues or talent. So I think that's also something that I can leave you with. Anything to do with labor and skills, please feel free to reach out to me. I think I'll be able to tell you about anything to do with helping you with your compliances, for example. We have so these are some things I can offer, but
Latest challenge is raw material price fluctuation in a greater sense it is affecting us. How to eliminate that threat? How to really mitigate? What's the process? This is what I'm interested in.
this is what I call an out-of-syllabus question. You can ask me a question which is way above my pay grade. But commodity prices, from whatever little I know, is going up worldwide. And I think there are headwinds, global headwinds, which are also responsible. Some of the channels that were available to you to kind of be able to procure some of your commodities are not existent. Whether you call it prudence, long-term prudence, patriotism, nationalism, whatever. But I guess you will know better, because honestly, this is a problem that collectively, and I believe in collective bargaining. Maybe if it's a common problem on certain goods and items, please, I'm a big believer, by the way, in making constant representation to the government. I mean, as an organization, when I was young, I used to think like a typical, then those were my rebel instincts where anything government, government. But now I'm much more humble, and I realize that government has one thing that no matter how rich you become in life, you'll never have, which is power. So, agar 50 baar jaake minnat karna padega, to we will do it. And I think persistent plays. If there is a huge case, I have seen that of late the government is responsive and they're willing to, anything which affects economy, business, trade, growth, it's a government from my perspective which is willing to listen. So get yourself together and present your case, it helps. Anything else? No? Okay. Thank you so much for having me here with us, and have a good rest of the evening. And at any point, if I can be of any use to any one of you, please feel free to reach out at any point. And thank you again, DNB, thank you again, Access, for giving me a chance to talk in such a forum. And it's such an amazing pleasure after a long time to be physically part of an event which actually had so many people physically in front of you. I'm exhausted seeing screens clearly, so thank you so much.
I would now like to invite Mr. Abhinav Chauri. Abhinav leads the cloud and digital transformation practice and has served a diverse set of clients, both global and regional, including India, Europe, UAE, South Asia, and the US. His clientele includes technology companies, digital natives, global capability centers, and private equity players, including some SME players as well. Abhinav advises on complex cloud, digital-led business transformation mandates as well. With this, welcoming Abhinav Chauri.
Today seems a day for a bad throat for most of us. And thanks for introducing me. In brevity, what I do very simply is I've been at Ernst & Young for about 18 years. I serve my clients from all the sectors, mainly. But I must confess that since the pandemic started in post-pandemic world, a lot of focus has been on the engagement with MSME and SMBs specifically. And in fact, I take a lot of pride in saying that when Government of India, especially the Ministry of Finance, they decided to disburse loans to MSME as a remediation to recover, we assisted the minister with the whole technology assistance in order to disperse the loans to the MSMEs. And so if you have any grievances, I'm not the guy, but that's what I did. It's very coincidental. I actually had another opportunity to speak to one of the media channels for one of their shows, which will come on Monday. But the trigger for that show was very interesting. They were very intrigued to know why all the CEOs of big tech companies are here in India in past 10, 15 days, including Mr. Nadella, who is here right now, and from past 3 days meeting a lot of dignitaries and many of the big company CEOs. And we had Sundar Pichai coming in few weeks back, and so on and so forth. So the question was, what's so interesting about India, apart from being the country with the highest labor arbitrage and the cost efficiency? What makes it an excellent destination for the investments? And it's a serious business, because what we are saying here, we already have a committed investments, about $25 billion from 3 companies already. And that's in action, be it in the form of Foxconn manufacturing facility in Chennai, or increase in the hiring for Microsoft and Google, specifically, and Amazon too. One of the reasons, and I'm not sure how many of you are knowing about it, but if you know, that I'm preaching to the choir, but one of the main reasons for all the big tech companies to get highly, highly enthusiastic about India as a region in Asia, specifically to invest, is the presence of MSMEs and SMBs. Nobody talked about it, interestingly, for so many years. And I think that's what I'm going to talk about, that why MSME is specifically starting from unfortunately. Yeah. And second is the ability to take risks, which I fully appreciate, because it's not that easy to be an entrepreneur in our country, given the very pressure that we have. So before I go, I've got a couple of slides, very simple, beautiful, with a bright color palette, no words, nice pictures, just to communicate what I really want. But as I go into it, let me start by saying, what I started by saying, that what makes India, especially in the MSME sector, so lucrative for big technology. Let's rewind. Let's go about 10, 15 years back. There was a huge divide, like the way we say, richer are getting more rich, rich are getting more rich, and poor are getting poorer. Similarly, enterprises and organizations within Asia, particularly India, had a huge divide. There were a bunch of large organizations who had access to capital, who had access to funding, and who also enjoyed a good customer base because their brand was well known. So either they were born out of a global established brand, or they were a very strong regional local brand. They got huge market, therefore they were known, and hence the financial institutions were absolutely okay, many times not even underwriting properly, you have seen the scams in individuals do that. And because of the easy access to fund, the ability to, I would say, discretionary expend, and I'm using this word very carefully because I'm using this term in the context of technology. So the discretionary spend on the technology was not really available in comparison to, let's say, a bootstrap organization or to, let's say, small Indian enterprise or even an MSME organization as well. Because the key word is capital, and the word is that I do not want to borrow more than what I have. And that's very important. Unfortunately, in fact, customer doesn't know. Have you been to any car manufacturing factory before you buy a car? We don't. Have you demanded to any of the car manufacturers, OEM, I would like to see how do you put that door? We don't. Have you gone to any other organizations where the process is transparent to you? No. But would you know how your food has come from Swiggy? Absolutely yes. Because you know the source, you know the delivery, and you know the delivery point as well. That's called inversion of the business, wherein you're not talking about input and output, you're talking about let's bring customer into the pipe and let him be part of the process. And that's what most of the organizations which have been MSME certain point in time, certain names I will speak with you like Dabur, Imami, Raymond's. We have all heard these names. What they are undergoing today is inverting themselves and saying, I don't want to be opaque to my customer anymore. Therefore, I would like to be with them or have them as a part of my own process. That's what experience really means. So at certain point, if we are able to have an experience-led view, wherein we are essentially challenging ourselves, what do I deliver back to my customer when I think unit economics? Fundamentally, your lens towards your business profitability will change, and that change lens will pose new set of challenges. Those new set of challenges can often be tackled by technology. I'm just pretty much giving you a roadmap how it will move. Yeah. Last point. Oh, that was the last point, interestingly. All right. I think, that's what I had to share with you. There are lots of other stories we can talk about when it comes to cloud and digital. I would just say that don't be bothered about the keywords. People who need to sell technology to you, they will again find a new word to sell it. But essentially, we are just talking about very simple softwares and hardwares which are now available to all of us as a service. We have been using Gmail since long. People who are more senior to me might have been using Yahoo and Hotmail since long. They were always around you. You were never paid for them. All you have to do for business softwares today is just pay a little and get started with it with no implementation cost. I think that's all. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, we'll be very happy to answer. I'll be around sometime. I can talk in the side as well. Thank you. Thanks very much. We good? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. Thanks, Ms. Ritu, for sharing the valuable insights with all our guests. And I would also like to thank all our guests for being here this evening, wonderful evening. And I would like everyone to please join for cocktail and dinner.